Don't be afraid to speak English, or don't be afraid of speaking English. Well, at the beginning, when I was still learning English, I was afraid of talking in English with especially foreigner, because I was afraid of making mistake. But later on, after I practice a lot, so I also after I can speak it fluently, so I have no doubt anymore when uh, I talk English. But I think the most important thing when you want to speak English with someone is uh, the most important thing is your courage. Your courage to speak English with someone. Well, I just want to explain a little bit about the problem uh, we have as an Indonesian. Why most Indonesians don't speak English that well? I don't speak English well either. But I'm trying to speak it uh, better. Like that. So I learned English since I was like let's say 12 years old. It was at junior high school, and SMP, that time we call it Sekolah Menengah Pertama. But anyway, I find it that learning English Indonesian is kind of learning uh, grammar, or like learning a formula, like you are learning what's that, match or mathematica or something like that. So match, or maybe physics, a formula from physics or something. It is very difficult, and also the teacher teaching us in Indonesian, not in Bahasa Indonesia, not in English. This is another uh, I mean problem as well. Why we don't get used to speak the language? Because at the school, since we are 12 years old, where we begin to learn English, we the teacher introduces English to us with what you call in Indonesian. So, and also what they introduce us is not the conversation, but the grammar is like a formula. So we are forced to learn the formula or the grammar, but we are not forced to learn how to speak. So we don't learn conversation. That's the problem, I think, that we have. So in this case, I won't. Maybe I hope this is kind of critics for what's that, for the government to make a system in what's that, improving the way how the teacher, English teacher, teaching schooler at school English in the right way, uh, efficient and effective, but not the way that we learn English, like we learn math or physics. So, and other thing is also that we are not also forced to learn by heart more vocabulary, but we are more forced to was that build a sentence in a perfect form, like present tense, past tense, future tense, and so on. But the problem is we never practice it. We just practice it in an exercise, in a like examination, like writing was that the correct answer for like I mean the right to be, or the right form of the sentence. Yeah, this is, really think the system of learning English in this way, really make the make us very passive. I mean, in practicing English. So I hope that the government, especially the education department of Indonesia, want to change this the system of the what's that the way how we learn English and the way the way the teacher teaching us English. So because anyway, like this, now I'm able to speak English a little bit better. Maybe not because I have learned at school at that time at junior high school and junior high school, but actually after I finished my high school, I did a English course for like 1 year. It's a very cheap English course, but because of my ambition and my motivation, and also this is my wish that I really want to speak the language well, so I learn it by myself. Beside I learn it at the course. So I mean, well, also, I mean, it is not enough to learn English at school. I mean, if you want to speak English, but you also have to practice it outside at home. I mean, outside of school. Also, when you do the course, you must also practice it outside. And at the time when I finished the course, I even during the course I practiced my English every day. I went down the street, meeting foreigner and talk with them. At the beginning, I was shy and not brave enough, but then after a while, I could speak much better, and then I'm not afraid anymore. So, but also there are other things. The important thing when we are speaking the language, we also need to, I mean, understand the culture, because culture is also one of the. I mean, language is one of the culture. So, and actually, like a culture is implemented in the language. So, both are very important. But learning the culture, I think we can have it by practicing English, yeah, with a foreigner, especially from you practice it with a native speaker. So just, I mean, try to speak the language. Don't be afraid, and just go ahead and talk with them. So I'm sorry if any native speaker listening my English maybe it's not that good, but I'm trying to, and I hope you understand me. Thank you.